Hey everyone, welcome to Press Marketing. This is Melissa Psihudakis, and I am here with my co-host, Mallary Thompson.
Hey Melissa.
Hey Mallary, what's going on?
Ugh, nothing.
Uh-oh, I heard an oh.
Nothing. It's just been like back-to-back client calls today.
I know, it's been pretty busy today, I will say that, for sure.
So it's funny because around Tuesday, I looked at Kent and I said, it's so weird. I don't have any client calls for the next 2 days. And then all of a sudden they were all today. It was just, we saved them all till Friday. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gotten really busy. So I literally was on the phone Wednesday, Thursday, and today. I was on the phone back to back talking to people. And the day whizzes by, and I had Penny just staring at me like, when can we go in the pool? When can we go in the pool? And I'm like, well, mommy's done with her phone calls. I will take you in the pool.
My family's usually like that with dinner. They forget how to cook for themselves. They forget how to eat when I'm not available. They
need you. They need you so they can eat. But Kent cooks. I mean,
he's a professional chef. Yeah, you'd think so. You would really think so. However, you'd be wrong. He says that he used it all up when he was cooking professionally, and now he just supervises the kitchen, so he doesn't have to cook anymore.
Oh, come on. No getting lazy, Kent. Come on now. Come on, Kent. Although I was very intrigued by Tuesday's spaghetti sandwiches, because I've never heard of that until you told me you guys had spaghetti sandwiches, and I was like, whoa, it's like Carb City.
We stole it from a restaurant in San Diego. Theirs are better because they get to put cheese in there, but we're still doing the no cheese thing. But they do like this hollowed out like bread roll of garlic bread, and they just like dump garlic and olive oil and mozzarella cheese in there and fill it with like spaghetti or ziti or whatever you want. And sausage. Oh my gosh, the sausage one is so good. But we just had spaghetti and garlic bread, so it was. And we had to eat it at our house with our kids. Like, the ambiance just wasn't there of a nice little restaurant in San Diego.
It sounds almost like a calzone when everything's all stuffed in that pocket.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a calzone with a lot of extra carbs. It's
wonderful. Mm-hmm. I feel fatter by the moment just listening to you talk to me about that. How's the no cheese thing going for you? Is that really helping?
I don't know. I feel better.
Okay.
Could just be circumstantial. Impossible to say, but I'm not going to go back now. Like, I'm not going to chicken out.
Chicken.
Cheese. I saw a block of I've been having the weirdest cheese cravings, though. Like, there's a block of cheddar cheese in my refrigerator, and I just have the strongest urge to grab it and just take a bite out of it like some kind of animal. Yeah, I know. It's really strange.
Well, speaking of cheese and restaurants and all these wonderful things,
Beautiful.
Ryan tonight is our guest from Local Member, and he's based in Philly. I think he's here with us right now. Ryan.
Hey, how's it going, Melissa and Mallary?
Hey, we're good. How are you?
Pretty good. It's Friday, so can't complain.
Very nice. So, we hear that you're supporting local businesses, and you've added hundreds of local businesses, and you highlighted products and services of several Black-owned businesses. So tonight, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how that all began.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm 29 years young. Originally from North Jersey, and been living down here in Philly for the past 10 or so years. A Local Member is my fourth tech startup over the past 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's fun. I enjoy kind of doing these things. The last business before this was again focused on the local space. I'm a foodie. I just love the local businesses, especially in Philadelphia. I think in most cities, they kind of give it its charm. Every city, it gives it that unique identity. Yeah, the business before, which kind of set me up for this one, it was called Stay Local. We were helping local businesses collect their customers' information through Wi-Fi. So we were giving them a Wi-Fi router. They were able to collect their customers' email, build a nice newsletter list, and keep them engaged. So we ran that for about 8 years. Closed shop on that in 2019. There wasn't enough money flow, and we couldn't figure out some things to keep it going. But sadly, closed that up. But then COVID hit, as I think we're all pretty familiar with. So
wait, COVID? What's that?
Yeah, what's that?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Or Corona by the slang name, I should say.
No. The kids call it the Rona.
Oh, the Rona.
Yeah. My kids who spend way too much time on the internet now call it the Rona. They pretend to sneeze on each other and said, "Oh, I gave you the Rona."
It reminds me of that song, My Sharona.
Yes. Oh, actually, Weird Al did a tweet. Then he said he was absolutely not going to make a parody of My Sharona and call it My Corona. So just in case. Anyway, sorry, Ryan.
We digress.
I need to start using the Rona and be hip with everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my kids are 5 and 7, so no, they're not. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to edit out the part where I forgot how old my kids are. They're 7 and 9, so I don't know if you want to be popular among that demographic or not, but that's the age group that's saying it.
Well, what generation is that? That's younger than Gen Z, right?
I don't. Do they even have a name yet, or are they the Zoomers? I can't even.
They're Gen Z.
That is Gen Z.
Yeah, it's Gen Z. I like Gen Z better than the millennial group because the Gen Z group. Wait, hold on, Ryan. How old did you say you were?
He's 29.
I'm a millennial.
Okay,
he's a millennial. So you're
millennial.
talking shit right now.
No, we're good. So here's what's up.
He's not that kind of millennial.
No, you actually are an entrepreneur and you care and you want to work. So I would say that the Gen Zers, they're inquisitive. They want to work. They want to do good and create things and awesome. But there's a lot of millennials that don't want to do anything and they have entitlement. And Ryan, you're not that person. So I'm just letting you know. But, there's a lot of millennials that make me a little crazy. I'll admit. It's the truth.
We employ a lot of millennials, Ryan. That's where this is coming from.
Sometimes they make us crazy. Sometimes they do. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about how Local Member works and what's the process for local businesses to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. So just real quick, because I think this is kind of important. So the reason we started, COVID hit. We saw all these local businesses, they got smashed, right? They don't have a cash reserve like these corporations. They had to adapt in this digital world where they're selling merchandise, gift cards, promotions, and a lot of them were doing that, which was awesome. But it was hard to find. It was overwhelming, right? And you don't know what you don't know. So kind of versus making some banana bread or putting puzzles together, I was like, let me try building a website, make this a little bit easier to support local, which is ultimately our mission. So kind of went to work and started pulling this all together. And really what we're doing, to go into your question, is we're just pulling in all of those things, all these awesome things that local businesses have to offer. They're selling merchandise and that everyone's selling shirts, but some of them are selling yo-yos and cutting boards and really weird and quirky stuff, which is you would never know it existed if you didn't know about that particular business and dig through their website. So what Local Member really is we're pulling all that stuff and making it a little bit easier to find. So if you're kind of here and saying, hey, I want to support local, I just don't know where to start. Who do I go to? What do I do? And this helps make it a little bit easier.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So what are the perks of joining Local Member for businesses and for customers?
Yeah. So for businesses, we're just scraping all of this stuff off the web. We haven't engaged too many of them just yet. We're really just saying, hey, we see all this stuff. We're going to add it. We're going to add it to our website, make it a little bit easier to find. So the perk for the businesses really, it's getting them in front of this hyper local audience that they may otherwise not be able to access, right? So that's the benefit for them. And we're pulling in whether it's merchandise, gift cards, we're helping drive transactions to these things. You know, we have these thousands of people coming saying they support local, and we're able to, you know, help get those people to those things that they're looking for. And for the consumer side, it's you know, similar. It's like, hey, I think a great example is, you know, I want to buy local coffee versus me, you know, buying Folgers from Acme or Whole Foods or whatever. I want to buy local, but, you know, what local roasters are in Philly? Unfortunately, we found, you know, the dozen of them that are there, and we brought in all their beans and their mugs to go with it, and it's like easy, so much easier. Like you can see, you know, whatever you're looking for. So I think that's like the main perk for right now in terms of what we're doing.
So what is your goal? What is your role at Local Member? You keep saying we. Tell us about your team.
Yeah. The team is awesome. So so my role, I'm the founder of it. So I got this, you know, this machine going. And then in the initial stages, got the help of my girlfriend and a couple of my friends, John and Roman, and we kind of got in brother and helped stand this up. But now the team has grown to about 20 Temple University interns from the.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome. It's like a Temple-made team. That's like Temple's like slogan that they preach now in their commercials and stuff. But yeah, it's like we reached out. Just a funny story about this, because I think this is interesting in how a lot of these internships got canned over this summer, right? Because of COVID, we couldn't bring these in. So I reached out to a few of my connections at Temple, said, hey, listen, we got this project that we're looking for some more help to build it out, make a bigger impact. And they sent us some students, and, you know, we found some ambitious rock stars that are helping us build this out every single day, which is awesome.
That's awesome. So tell us some numbers. How many local businesses have Local Member added to date, and how many members do you have?
Yeah, great question. So to date, we've added a little over 600 businesses in the Philly market.
Wow.
Again, it's the interns between myself and everyone on the team. We've all just gotten our hands dirty and just cranking these things out every day and night. And we've added, what's more interesting is that we added these 600 businesses, but we have around a little under 1,000, we call them highlights, or their posts featuring something cool or quirky about the business. So it can be a merchandise, it can be a gift card, it could be outdoor seating, which is a trendy thing now, or popular thing now. So there's a lot of content on there. We're just trying to help make it a little bit easy to find through some blog pieces and guides and such.
Nice.
Great. Can you tell us a story about how Local Member has impacted a business?
I was trying to think of like a particular story. It's hard for me to say, right? We have the numbers and all these like juicy metrics on the back in Google Analytics to see like who's going where and transactions and all this stuff.
Right.
Particular business is hard for me to say, but we're starting a video series. We just finished a shoot, and we're giving kind of behind the scenes video of, you know, the people behind some of these awesome businesses. And we visited this company, a brewery called Attic Brewing Company in Germantown, Philadelphia. And we got to speak to them and kind of learn like how they were a new brewery. They just opened up in January. COVID hit, so they had to close their doors in March. So to learn about how they've had to adapt, and they had to go from, you know, start selling cans now, which is something that they weren't really planning on. There was a back order on all these cans, back order on labels, like all these different things. So it was awesome to see and connect with them and kind of work with them and doing this video and adding all their stuff. And you can tell it seems like helping them out, you know, in this time of need, or just helping bring awareness about who they are and what they have to offer.
Nice. Well, so what about a story about how Local Member has impacted a customer?
Great question. So again, it's hard for me. I haven't been too intimate with each individual person who has hit our site, but what we've been doing is we have this like kind of like loose membership program saying, hey, if you love supporting local as much as we do, become a local member, a local contributor, fill out this survey, and help us build this platform a little bit more. How can we make it better? So in terms of like the membership, we're getting all this great feedback on things to do, things to add, different content ideas. In addition to driving these transactions, which we can see people are buying merchandise or gift cards or making reservations or ordering online, we're also kind of making it like an open-ended. Tell us how we can make this better.
Nice.
Absolutely. So what is the biggest roadblock you faced on your journey to build local member, and how did you get past it?
I feel like it's like with any entrepreneur's journey is trying to figure out what to focus on. Like you have 1,001 things that you want to do. I think the biggest roadblock initially was trying to find a team to help me kind of keep this going. And luckily in the beginning, I had a great support network of some friends and family to help get this up and going. And then my biggest concern was, when we start promoting this, we just launched it May 11th. So it's fairly new still. How are we going to keep this thing going? And luckily, the saving grace of the interns has helped kind of get us over that hurdle and keep this machine moving and making bigger impacts and expanding our reach.
Sure. So from your perspective, how has coronavirus affected local businesses?
I think what coronavirus is doing is it's forcing businesses to become more digital. Just working with local businesses in the past several 8 years or so, is there wasn't as much as like things were moving to more digital, right? You have the online ordering, maybe some merchandise stores. It's impacted businesses where they've realized that they've really had to adapt and become more digital to survive in this COVID world. And I think if you're not able to adapt quick enough, you might be hurting, and it's going to hurt them. And that's kind of where we're trying to come in is here's an easy digital tool. You don't have to do much. We work with some businesses, they tell us stuff to add. We have businesses request to add them, which is perfect. But I think it's impacting where they have to be digital. Otherwise, restrictions are coming up, but who knows how this coronavirus will continue to play out for the rest of the year and then some.
Absolutely. So you've kind of answered this question, but how do you think the pandemic has changed the way local businesses do business?
Yeah. I guess I kind of knocked that one out.
They're basically being forced to become more digital, but
yeah, I think what it's done is it's forced them to think a little outside the box. I think one of the really cool things that a lot of businesses or restaurants, actually, and more than restaurants, have started to do is they started doing these kits, which I think is awesome. So they'll put together meal kits, or there's a cool restaurant in Philly, High Street on Market. They're doing Father's Day barbecue kits. So it has a nice fillet in it with some cool veggies and some scallops and all these really cool things and all bundled up with it. Probably think some spices, and they kind of thought outside the box. And we found there's about 50 of these businesses that have done this. So this is just one of them. But it's cool. It's forced them to think outside the box and how can they adapt, right? And how can they get the same volume or compensate for the lack of volume of customers since they can't have them coming in the store.
Sure. So given the recent protests for the Black Lives Matter movement, how has local member reacted? Are you making efforts to boost Black-owned businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw this going on, and, power to a lot of the people in the Philly community, Billy Penn, a lot of bloggers and such, where they were able to pull together these awesome directories of here are all the businesses that are Black owned, which we thought was awesome. So we kind of took a different approach and said, this is cool, but how can we showcase these businesses a little bit more? So our approach, one of our latest guides was featuring the products and services from those businesses to help kind of showcase how you can actually support them, right? So whether it's the products they're selling, the retail, the food offerings, all the awesome things that they have to offer. So that's kind of how we've positioned ourselves. Is these directories are great, right? They kind of give you a list of what the businesses are. We kind of took the approach of, okay, who they are, but what are they offering? And can you find something on that list that I'm looking for that, so I'll support this business versus another one for that matter.
Do you think that life for business owners and shoppers will be different after the coronavirus?
I do. I think everything's got to be more digital. I think we're already starting to see it now in the sense that I was just out at a restaurant earlier today where you scan a QR code to put in your order, which is one of the examples of being more digital, right? You need to make reservations online. You need to do all these things online. I think the part for the owners, even in the shoppers, it's safer, frankly speaking, to do a lot of these things just on your phone. You're not touching other things. Sometimes it's more convenient to do everything more online. So I think there's coronavirus has had a shift it was going this direction, kind of just sped it up a little bit of you kind of need to be a little more digital today. And I think that's both for the business and the consumer.
Sure. So the country is slowly opening up, as we know, and shopping may soon be back to normal, hopefully. So how do you see local member adapting beyond the coronavirus?
Yeah, I think we'll keep on keeping on. We have a bunch of really cool projects on the way. I don't want to share them just yet, but there's a support local was important pre-COVID, right? I'm not inventing this by any means. But I also believe that supporting local is more important than ever today than it was before because, yes, things are starting to open up, but there's some interesting metrics you kind of see out there that's like, 30% of these shops and local businesses are going to close within a year to 2 years, right? So we're not out of this yet from a local business perspective. And I think there still needs to be a really strong push. And I read this other article the other day, which I thought was interesting too, is when you buy local from a local business, if you spend $100, 68 of those dollars will stay in that community. Versus when you buy from maybe a more major corporation, a big box store, 43 of those dollars will stay in that community. So I think we're going to a more local society, support the community, the ones you live in. And I think, as this continues, as we're opening up, we're not out of it yet. And I think there's still a lot of work to be done if we continue to support local.
So in your wildest dreams, what would be your ultimate goal for local member?
I would love for this to be in every local community or major city, I think, in the country and even in the world. That'd be awesome. We recently got featured in the Skim, which was an awesome national plug, and gave me butterflies in my stomach when people would reply and reach out to me like, bring this to the Bay Area, bring this to our city. We need this. So it's kind of it's sparked my ambitions even more of, this can be more than just a Philly thing, right? And there's local businesses everywhere. So how can we continue to, help communities across the country?
Yeah, help people in their own city too, I think. Find other things that they never would have found otherwise. Like, I've lived in big cities before, and you kind of, especially if you walk everywhere, you kind of get familiar with your own 1 block, 2 block radius, and you don't kind of venture out of it. So even for people that already live there, they're probably all exploring new things. That's really cool.
Yeah. I've been in Philly for 10 years now. Lived in North Philly for all 10 of those. I can tell you I've gone down to South Philly restaurants probably 10
Nice.
times.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Stay in your comfort zone,
Sure. I lived in Philly myself for a little bit, and it rained every day that I was there. Every day. Every day.
Oh, it's sunny here? What do you mean?
Yeah, right?
Awful. It was 18 inches. I'll never forget. 18 inches of snow the first day I moved there. And then it literally rained every day that I lived there, and it was so depressing.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, every day. I never saw.
She's not going to be doing marketing for the city of Philadelphia anytime soon.
Craziness.
It was sunny today, if that counts for anything.
Well, if you can assure me you have a day with no rain or snow, then I'll take your word for it.
Oh no, if it starts snowing in June, y'all are in for it.
Oh yeah.
That's a bummer.
It's over.
You won't hear from me.
So Ryan, tell us more about your plans for the future. What are some of your long-term career goals?
I would love, funny fact about this, and this is why I needed help, is this is a side hustle, believe it or not. I'm working full-time as a cybersecurity consultant at Ernst & Young. Hopefully no one from Ernst & Young is listening to this, but I
We're
love...
going to tag them when we post
we're going to tell them everything. We're going to tell you.
No,
Brian's quitting.
they've actually realized what I'm doing on the side, and they gave me this like superhero award thing.
So sweet.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was like a relief. Like, okay, they're not mad that I'm doing this on the side. I'd love to do this full time. Honestly, it's fun. I love working with the local businesses. I make an impact at UI. Like, don't discount me there, but it's awesome to be making an immediate impact with this and what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So that is my goal for right now, at least.
Well, helping small businesses is a very noble goal. We've helped a lot of small businesses that don't know even where to start with their marketing. So I'm sure this is a giant leg up for them. So where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I've been asked this on interviews before too. And like, this is such a
you always say in this job, sir.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think that's what I told Melissa in my interview.
Yeah, you totally told me that. And you know what? My answer was when I interviewed, it was, I see myself as an integral part of your think tank. It's all bullshit, but it worked. Everyone loved that answer.
So Ryan, what is your bullshit? Where do you see yourself in 10 years answer?
My bullshit one is,
okay.
No, my real one is, I want to be 10 years from now, I want to be making a bigger impact in whatever trade or whatever I'm doing more than what I am today. Now, I think I'm making impact today, but I want to, my goal in 10 years from now is to help influence society to be a little bit better. And that may sound like a corny answer, but I just think these local businesses need the most help, and I think there's such an opportunity there. I don't want to be is just helping these people out.
Definitely. No, that's good. Really awesome. And you're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna ask you. Ready? So one word answer, and you can't cop out and say nothing or I'm not sure or whatever. You have to give an answer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Biden or Trump?
Oh no.
Biden.
Bam! All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, you passed the test.
That was an easy one.
Yes, it was.
That wasn't an official interview question.
Yeah, it was.
Is it because you hate asking who is your inspiration?
I fucking hate that question. Yes, that's why. I fucking hate it. And I'm not going to ask him that. Because I hate that fucking question every time.
Ryan, who inspires you?
Yeah.
Small business owners would be a good answer.
Yeah. Good answer.
I saw this question and I was thinking about
you threw up in your mouth a little bit. You're like,
who's your inspiration, Ryan?
I don't idolize one in particular person, but I will say that I am inspired by other movers and shakers and entrepreneurs that I try to surround myself with, and it's awesome and inspiring to see them doing their own thing, and that always gives me a little, fire under my butt. Like, you know what? Keep on keeping up.
I'm going to share something with you right now. So I was a voted Mover and Shakers Award winner of 2011. Yay! What? Movers and Shakers, baby. I was like, they did a whole radio show. I was in some magazine. It was called Movers and Shakers, and
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? You should look out for that. You can be in Movers and Shakers too.
Yeah, wow. That's where I see myself in 10 years.
No, you're just saying it right now. What? Right now.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's just wow. Wow.
Okay, so what are your quarantine obsessions and what's been getting you through this time right now?
I was trying to think, like, I'm doing this local member stuff in my sleep. This is what's getting me through it. It's like I could be sitting watching Netflix or something, or I could be doing this. So it's honestly been my obsession for the past months. It's been fun.
That's awesome. I mean, that's how you know you're a true entrepreneur. Really, when you are dreaming about your business. It's so true. I mean, I dream about my business and my employees, and I love them. And I think about it all the time.
I dream about you too, Melissa.
I dream about you. And it's like, it's awesome because, you know, when you're truly dedicated and you're 100% in and your heart is 100% in, you know, you're doing the right thing. And, you know, we love what you're doing. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. What I've learned too is if you're not, and this is through the other startups I've done, is when you're having fun with it, it's like a whole nother breed. Like it's just so much more fun. Like a few of my other startups, they were running and it became not fun anymore. And that's when, like, I won't say the passion dropped, but it's just like, and this has been so fun. That's why it's like, I can't wait to do this every day. It's fun.
Well, it's not work. Yeah. When it turns into work, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So do you have social media handles for Local Member?
We do.
We're going to plug for you on.
Yeah. So we have our Instagram account, which is at localmember.co.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook page. I don't know how to say the handle on that, but I think you probably can just look localmember.co on there as well. And on those pages, you know, how we're treating them is we're sharing our latest guides and directories that we're pushing out. So if you don't check the site out, it's a good way just to kind of keep in tune, seeing some of the cool things that we're pushing and making and creating and you know, building and such. So give it a follow if you haven't already done so.
Nice. Awesome. Well, listen, Ryan, it was so nice having you on our show tonight. And we wish you the best of luck in everything you're doing. And hopefully we can touch base and have you up on a follow-up podcast in the future.
Yeah, awesome. I'd love that. And thanks for having me. This was a nice evening conversation. I enjoyed the questions. I think my favorite one still is, who is my inspiration?
Don't even go there.
It's Melissa's favorite question too.
I know. Every time that comes up, I'm like, no, why? But just so you know,
it's only corny if you ask it in a corny way, Melissa.
Yeah, but we're not the ones who make up the questions, Mallary. So it's not like I'm sitting there like, who's your inspiration?
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? What's been the best response to that question so far, or the best response?
You know what? We had one.
Everybody says their mom.
Their mom, yeah.
It's always a family member.
That's a cop out. I mean, that's fair.
Hold on. The other one was her inspiration was Michelle Obama.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that was sweet.
The coronavirus obsession one is more fun for most people. Not yours, Ryan. No offense. Yours was.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't.
We got a Ryan Gosling last week. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's so funny because your name's Ryan. And last week we had this whole thing about talking about Ryan obsessions, and we talked about Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds because we asked last week's podcast guest who their celebrity crush was, and they said Ryan Gosling, and the other one was like Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, oh my god, it's so funny, Ryan and Ryan. And then all of a sudden, like, our next week's guest was named Ryan, hence you enter the room. So we thought it was really funny and apropos.
But yeah, that question's way more fun than your inspiration.
Yeah. Your inspiration we have to strike from the script.
But it's good though. I mean, it's a good solid answer. I would still hire you.
Totally. You gave a good answer. Good answer. You know, like on Family Feud, when like, good answer, and they're clapping, good answer, but like the answer is
good answer. Everyone's like happy down the line.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being here tonight on our show, and we wish you the best of luck with your business, and keep on keeping on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for having me, and looking forward to hearing this and hearing more of these too. I'm interested to see some of the other guests that you have on.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. All right, bye now. Bye.